Nice.
Helmet or no helmet?
You are a helmet.
Thank you all for taking the time today. I know it's a bit difficult trying to get everyone at the same time, so I really appreciate it. Obviously, we're talking because it's Independent Venue Week, which last year you guys did your first headline gig during at the West End Centre. So
yeah,
slightly different this year because we can't be in venue, so probably a bit more poignant because we're all wanting to be in these venues. But it's a nice time to be able to catch up with you and just see what you've been up to and then reminisce on the old times and hope that we get there back to normal as quick as possible.
Yeah,
definitely.
One day.
We know that you guys met by chance, but Jono, if you could just take us through the day that you guys met and like what the conversation was for Matro Rancho to start.
This is an emotional moment.
Oh yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready for the emotional moment?
That is my life changed for the worst. It was a bit of a weird circumstance because I used to be a Westie volunteer. I suppose I still am, really, because I'm still on the books. But Jules, head sound engineer, invited me in to work a gig, mainly because the band looked like me, apparently. They were referred to as the Jonos. So I went in, not thinking anything of it, and there was a sort of a slightly hairy 18-year-old, strange-looking boy. There he is. And it's weird. We didn't even plan it. We just had sort of struck a conversation up and said, you know, do you do the famous phrase is, do you do the band thing? Because, you know, there he is. Yeah. Because, you know, me and John have been trying to form bands for years and years. Possibly. Yeah. Awful. Anyway, I've just left college, and so we arranged to have a jam, and then it's turned into this. So now you know.
It was just a case of Jules going, because I'd been volunteering there since I was in college and kind of been hanging around, and there'd always been talk of, I've got this friend that I want you to meet. I think you'll really get on with each other, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay then, and and then it was in an evening, sat around, you know, in the early hours of a morning with a burger and going, we like the same music. What's this? We found someone that's like-minded about weird, stupid 70s things. You know, so, and yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
It's very slippery slope. Just bad influences on each other now.
Okay, you were arguing who had the best Cuban heels.
Oh, yeah.
I've always had the best Cuban heels. Nasty man.
Yeah. And then it was, of course, through that we then had Mr. John Boy involved, wasn't it? And we're like, do we have to have him
playing for?
Shall we?
Literally years. We met when we were 19. I think I was 18. He was 19, and we said, "Yeah, let's do a band." And we used to meet up every 6 months for a jam, and try and find people to form a band with. And we had so many lineups of time-wasting idiots, you know. Who would stay for 3 months and then leave, and we got to the point where we were about to give up. And then
it's hard not to use expletives when we.
I know. I was literally thinking, what words do I use? I don't want to swear.
Family friendly.
PG.
Yes, very nasty people. So, and then luckily we met the man himself, Cullan Flanagan, and now we're here. So.
Saved the day, mate. I saved the day.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
So I know that there was a Talbot Matro Rancho car. Is that
well done?
Is that where the name comes from, or is the name something different?
No,
yeah, I'll take the rap for this. I mean, it's the amount of times people mispronounce it. Matro Rancho, or anyway, it's basically based on that Talbot 4x4, which is trying to rival the Land Rover. Essentially, it was a French vehicle, but it never really took off. I don't know. I just like the look, like the name of it, suggested it to the guys, and that's sort of the rest of history. We've kept with it. To find a good band name that hasn't already been taken was a bit of a nightmare. All the good ones are taken. So yeah, we sort of ended up like with the Matro Rancho, I guess.
So Cullan, I can see your backdrop is very 70s-esque. Where has the love of that come from? Have you grown up listening to like 70s music, or was it that there was a band that you heard and you were like, yes, I love it? Where did it all start?
For me, it was, I was very fortunate to have excellent grandparents that, as soon as I was of an age that I could ingest any sort of musical information and noises and, kind of get a grasp of it, I was given it. So it was, from probably the ages of probably about 6 or so, my granddad started basically giving me bits of his record collection, going, I think you should listen to this. I think you should listen to this. And of course that was all older stuff. So, for me, the Beatles, which was one of the first, groups that he passed on and said I would like, that instantly became an obsession for me, like 6-year-old me. And it was just from there on, it was like, I want to be like that. I want to do that. I want to live in that world. That's all I want to do. And then, yeah, it just carried on, and you get further and further into it, listening to the music and discovering the little bits of, trivia, and then in later years it's now branched out into old cars and all that stupid stuff, thanks to Jono, which was the beauty of it, was just how when we kind of initially met, it was like I had never met someone that was so like-minded over that subject, that kind of just incessant kind of obsession and nerdiness over certain eras and certain music, and you go, right, nice, we're going to do that, we're going to become a band and we're going to do it and we're going to enjoy it, so it was inevitable, because there's no one else at the moment that, I don't know, that has that same kind of grade. So yeah, that was practically it. It was always a part of who I was, and then it was only thanks to the Westie, really, and just an off chance in that we were able to meet like minds.
Cool. So obviously, John, we've caught you whilst you're working, but we've also seen, like, at the beginning of the year, you guys did some gigs. Obviously, we mentioned the Westie earlier, and we've seen some snippets online of like ideas for songs that you've been coming up with. What have you been up to in the past year or so?
We've just been doing as much as we can within the parameters that the government have set. When lockdown was first lifted, we were able to kind of reconvene as safely as possible, and in the first lockdown, Cullan was able to kind of do a lot more sort of songwriting, and bring initial ideas to the table that we could kind of flesh out. And it was something that our kind of songwriting approach has matured, I'd say, over the last sort of year or so from our current or previous sort of live set, and we've just kind of really been honing that. And as soon as this current lockdown's closed, we'll hopefully get together again and start working on some ideas, and hopefully have some, perhaps work towards an EP and that kind of thing. But it's we're doing as much as we can, within what we can do.
Yeah. So you've been sharing like the snippets on your Instagram. How have people been responding to that?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been good. Obviously, we haven't done too much recently, but it was really good, actually, because it not only kind of helped us feel more connected with our audience and who we want to be talking to and playing shows for and stuff in a time where we couldn't have that, but it kind of pushed the writing end of things for me as well. So that those ideas that went on were almost always written on the morning and then just kind of recorded, for whatever it was, a minute's worth of music, and then put out there. So as a kind of creative process, I found it really valuable, and I think, and then the boys were able to kind of look at those and kind of pass a bit of judgment on it, and then we can work on it, and we can just kind of get this ball rolling remotely, whilst we weren't able to kind of stick together, but we're still doing stuff like that now. Of course, I've been blessed with having enough time to be able to do all of it. So to be able to sit down and really get into the songwriting end of the spectrum and learn things and listen to loads of new music and take new influences and kind of just look at the bigger picture as well. Just it's been really good. So from that, from those initial little videos, I think it started something definitely within our ways of working and finding out what's working for us in a difficult time and what isn't and whatever. It really helped. So yeah, and so I suppose that's a kind of response that was just from within us and out there. I think it's in general it's all good.
So Jono, if we look back at sort of gigs that you've done, or even when you've just rehearsed together, I mean, I always think of that Westival performance in 2019. I was stood at the back of the room, and I mean, I didn't know what I was expecting. I was just stood like trying to take some photos, and you guys started playing, and I was like, this is so cool. And I remember for ages afterwards, anyone that I was speaking to, if the opportunity came up, I'd be like, I heard this band, they're really cool, you should listen to them. And I wasn't expecting myself to be quite so like amazed. So for me, I always think that, I always think of that when I think of you guys. But thinking about all the performances you've done, or just anything, is there any standout moments for you?
Standout moments? I don't know. We've actually been quite limited on the gig front because we did. Obviously, we had 2 years. We spent a year in a room putting our set together before we even came out live, and then our first gig was Westival 2018 from memory. It might even, I can't remember, it might even been 2017. And that had quite a good reaction, actually. It was kind of similar to what you just said. It was people were more surprised at how good we were, especially because it was our first show. Oh God, they were all expecting us to be a bit more rubbish than we were. Westie gigs have always been our best gigs, I think. I don't know if that's because we're tied into the venue or just because it's the right crowd, but I'd say first Westival definitely stands out to me. It's not necessarily our best gig, but it felt great, especially because at the time, obviously, we weren't restricted in any way and we could just play. And our headline show was great, actually. We sold the venue out. I reckon that's probably the one I
that was good,
because we weren't expecting to fill the venue by any means, especially because it was our first ever headline show.
Yeah,
really nice vibe. Lots of people turned up. Had quite a mixed crowd because we had a load of college students in. That
was about a year to the day, wasn't it? Year to the day.
Yeah, it was a year.
It
was our last proper in a venue gig. That one.
Yeah, with people in the room anyway.
Yeah.
Not like live streams.
So obviously we touched on earlier, like wanting to get back into venues and being able to play a live gig. But if this year was going to be a normal, ideal year that you could actually plan things and they would be, set plans, what would that year look like, and or what wishes do you have for this year, John?
Oh, I mean, playing as live as much as possible, really, and getting into sort of the festival scene, I suppose. It'd be great to play some of the festival slots. I mean, we were due to play like a local festival last year or year before, and that got pulled. But yeah, I think we're at the point now where we've got kind of more of a home set. The songs are maturer. Take it as, is that Cullan's dog in the background?
Yeah. Beauty of being at home.
So just playing live really, and then hopefully getting something more substantial out to people that kind of like our vibe. So perhaps some sort of recording.
So just before we wrap up, I thought it would be quite fun to do a 70s quiz. Test your knowledge.
Era. Quiz.
So I'm gonna ask you individually, and obviously if you get it wrong, then one of you can steal the answer. So for the first couple,
They've got to buzz in.
It's going to be terrible, yeah.
For the first couple, I'm just going to show you some images. So hopefully you'll be able to see my screen in a second.
This is about football. We're screwed.
There's no questions.
Yeah.
I can confirm that.
Oh, good. We're all right then. We said if it's football or ABBA, we've got no chance.
Right. So, first one's for Jono. So this bottle was found in our Hampshire Culture Trust collections. It was in circulation in the 70s. Obviously, it looks like a Coke bottle, but what does it do? What is it actually a double?
Oh, that's like the hardest question in the world. Apparently it's got that weird kind of port thing on the bottom. God, I'm definitely gonna have to pass that one. I can't even guess. Is it a door handle? Is it a door handle?
No.
That'd be good. Yeah, I don't know then.
Is it some sort of smoking utensil?
No.
No. Some novelty, like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the black dots? Is that a part of the bottle, or is that
That is yes.
so those black dots? Is that braille?
Is it a telephone?
No. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, go on.
Please.
Yeah.
So it's a radio.
Oh,
So
it's a speaker.
Yeah, it's battery operated, and the bottom is you can change what frequency you're on, and then the top is you can turn it so that it changes the volume.
That's pretty cool. I would
I want
never
one of
have guessed that.
I've got like the
Okay.
hardest question of the lot.
Well, just you wait, mate. You're getting them all.
Next question is for Cullan. So this is also a radio, but the question isn't about radio, it's about Disney.
Oh God! Why did you want to talk to John about Disney?
I don't even know about Disney. Mickey Mouse. No, is it Mickey Mouse? Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Right, so what Disney film released in 1971 saw a witch, 3 children, and a cynical magician con man enter a world of animation to find the missing component to a magical spell?
Oh man.
What?
A film he hasn't seen for 20 years.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
I never really
please?
watched Disney anyway, but I'm trying to go like famous. Is it well known? Is it quite
Yes,
well known?
Yeah.
I could guess at it, but
Merlin?
It features a household furniture piece in its title.
What was it? A family of 3 and a wizard or something? Did you say?
3 children and a witch
I know.
and a con man.
Is it Peter Pan?
No.
No.
Jono thinks he knows what it is, so go on.
It's
Go
not
on.
the one, The Witch and the Wardrobe, is it?
No.
It had wardrobe in it. I was
That's
like,
not
oh,
Disney. That's it. I was thinking
C.S. Lewis,
Pan.
isn't it?
Do you want me to tell you?
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Bed knobs and broomsticks.
oh,
Oh, I don't even know what
I've
that
never
is.
seen that.
Oh.
Clearly not 70s enough.
So this one's a little bit of this is from the 80s, so the second generation of the Sony Walkman, but the first one was released in the 70s. So John, do you know what year specifically the first gen was released?
The first mark of the Walkman.
First Walkman. Come on.
I mean that one, yeah, that one's the full 80s, then, isn't it? I would say late 70s. I would go with. I'd probably say 77.
Oh no!
That 1 year out.
No.
78.
It's 79, isn't it?
That's it. Got it. That's it. That's enough of the object. So Jono, next one. Which American musical romantic drama film that was a mouthful, released in 1976, starred Barbara Streisand?
Barbara Streisand. God.
Come on.
Oh
I'm not saying I know it. I'm just.
no, because it something like Grease popped to mind until he said Barbara
No,
Streisand.
that hasn't got Barbara Streisand in it.
No, so no, I don't know that one either.
It's been remade a few times.
A musical in '76. No, I'm going to pass that one. I can't even hazard a guess.
Anyone else?
John, give it to
John.
John.
Knows, John's a
don't
musical
even know.
expert.
It's there was another remake of it in the last couple of years.
No, see, no.
Do you know it now?
I can picture it, but no, I can't. I don't know.
Barbara
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Barbara Streisand's throwing me.
The latest version has Lady Gaga in it, if that's any help.
Oh, A Star Is Born.
That's it.
There you go.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know that was a remake.
I didn't know that. either.
So I got my
Neither
own
did I.
question right.
Ask questions about Rod Stewart and Paul Rogers and
Yeah,
old
look, there's a Rod
cars. We'll
Stewart
get them
poster
every
in the
time.
background.
Barbara Streisand. Who's Barbara Streisand?
Right, Cullen,
what
next
News
one's for
Party
you. In which Jimi Hendrix song would you find the lyrics, "Well, I stand up next to a mountain and I chop it down with the edge of my hand"?
Oh, go on, John.
That's Voodoo Slight Return, isn't it? Voodoo Child's Slight Return.
Yeah, that's it. Woo!
We're never going to hear the end of that now. Got
one right.
Okay, John, the next one's for you. You're probably going to hate me for this. In what 1975 comedy horror show does the time warp appear?
Comedy horror show. Time warp.
Process it. Come on.
Do you know it? Do you know?
No. I'm giving you some encouragement.
Does it have Rocky in the title? It's not the Rocky horror.
Is it
thing,
Rocky 3?
No, what's it? Rocky horror. No, what's that?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Picture show. Yeah, that.
That's it.
Yeah, not Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
It's a bit different now.
Right, Jono. Which rock band released albums Paranoid and Masters of Reality in
He's got the best.
Black Sabbath.
That's it.
You were both so cross then, weren't you? I've got a question we all know.
Yeah.
Okay, Cullen, back to you. In the 70s, what chocolate bar we now know as Snickers, what was it called?
Was it a marathon?
That's it. Okay.
Keeps you going and going.
Yeah.
I've got two more questions. So, John, in which famous concert venue was Led Zeppelin's concert film The Song Remains the Same filmed?
Well, that's a great question.
Oh, that's a very good question.
Oh, very good question, sir. Well done.
Song Remains the Same. It's not Madison. No, it's not. No, it would be.
Yeah.
I was going to say Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
Woo!
Woo!
Okay,
Go,
and then
go,
the last one, Jono. What is the name of the colourful 3D combination puzzle that was invented in 1974?
Colourful, it's not. Colourful. I'm not. Well, Rubik's Cube was 80s, wasn't it? So it won't be that. It's not. No. Rubik's Cube.
Was it colourful?
Yeah.
Colourful.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was invented in 1974.
Oh.
Didn't gain
Know
copy
this.
for
Come
another
on. Why don't you know this information?
10
John?
years. I did know. I got it right.
How are
didn't
you
I?
in this band and you don't know when the Rubik's Cube was invented?
Oh, come on. I'm full of useless information, but I've got to draw the line somewhere.
Didn't know what broomstick, bedpan, whatever it was called film was either.
Bed knobs and broomsticks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had 10 years to play with. I could have asked you anything. Well, I did. So.
Yeah. It was good. That was a good quiz.
Well, thank you again for your time today. It's been great talking to you and catching up. All my fingers are crossed that we can go back to normal and see you guys in venue soon. And yes, wishing you all the best.